Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And today we have our writing prompt being describe an instance where you had to accept you couldn't control the outcome. And today I wanted to talk about being free. So I went on Instagram, I think it was last night, and I was posting my episode and I saw a post and it said, if you could describe in one word what the way you want to feel, what would it be? And I immediately thought happy. Of course, I want to feel happy. And then I said, let me think about it a little longer. And after a few seconds, I thought, no, it's not happy. It's free. I want to feel free. And it's a concept that I learned in my program. And I started thinking more about it. I'm like, yeah, man, this applies to everything that I'm going through right now. Like, I just want to be free. I want to be it. When I got sober, I began to understand what that means to be free from addiction, free from the obsession, free from just constantly, I was like a prisoner in my own head. Like, I could not think of anything but alcohol. And similarly, tonight we went to my mother-in-law's house. That's fun. I haven't said that yet. For dinner. And I spent most of the evening, there was family there, and I spent most of the evening looking down to save my head because, as you know, I need to keep my symptoms at 5 or below a 5. And I found that the only way I can do that is to look down and not try to keep up with everybody moving. Or, there were some kids there that were running around and I wanted so much to play with them, but I can't watch them running around. So I found myself just looking down. We were sitting at the dinner table. I really spent most of my time looking at my food. I would look up if I was specifically talking to one person, but I really can't keep looking around the table. It hurts my head. So I thought, when I was there, I was thinking, yeah, free. I want to feel free to be able to do what I want to do, to not be once again feeling like I'm a prisoner inside my own head, and I've got these tiny little windows I get to look out, and that's it. That's what it feels like. Just constantly trying to control what it is that I'm looking at. And it makes me think of these prisons where they have little slits as windows. That's what it made me think about. So this idea of wanting to be free being free from addiction, being free from the pain in my head, being free from the limitations of what I can do, and being free from the mental and emotional burdens of these other invisible illnesses. I still have this underlying anxiety and depression that I take medication for. And in fact, I was just talking not 10 minutes ago to my daughter about this same type of thing. Like, if I could have one thing, it's not to walk around with a smile on my face and be happy. It's I want to be free. Um, Freedom from these things provides a serenity that I have really understood or felt once I got sober. And I imagine that same sort of serenity would be just expanded even more if I didn't have all these other issues, these invisible illnesses. And so I was sitting in my morning meeting this morning, and um, I I overslept, which is a positive thing. It's not usually in life oversleeping is a bad thing. Oversleeping is good for me. So I was about 10 minutes late to my sobriety meeting, which is very unusual for me. So I missed the topic. I'm not quite sure what it was, but um, what I was hearing, I was thinking about this morning, things about like um, when life gets hard and being in these situations where you feel like there's no way out. And I say a lot of times to people that I say it to my sponsees, the only way to it is through it. Um, but what I really learned that I was really blind to before I stopped drinking was how that therapist had told me that people are really resilient, like they're more resilient than you know, than you know. And then you go through something super, super hard and you see on the other side that everybody's fine. Everybody's fine. And in the middle of the situation, I'm thinking, I just want this to be over. I just want to be free from this burden. So, like when I'm in the middle of the pain, I want to be free. I think that is the word really that I've been looking for. And one of the ways that I'm able to take a break from my own pain, my own burdens, is to help others. If I think about that idea of being free, when I'm helping somebody else, I feel free from my own problems. I feel those burdens go away. If not, even if for just moments, when somebody needs me, my problems instantly go away. Just for a moment, I get to feel free. Um, when we got home tonight, I was feeling a little sorry for myself, not a lot, but a little bit. I was feeling like, oh, I wish I could have been more fun. I wish I could have um, not had to focus so much on not moving my eyes around and stuff like that. But then when I got home and I saw my daughter texted me and she needed me, my problem went away. It absolutely completely went away. And that's pretty freaking cool. That we can find freedom in helping others. And I know that from my sobriety program. I know that being a sponsor helps me to stay sober also. I just think it's really cool thinking about it from this perspective, this idea of freedom. So, not to mention, when I am so here's another thing. I'm thinking about like when I'm going through my stuff and I'm, leaning on my friends or I'm leaning on my mom or Neighbors are like, how are you feeling and stuff like that. And I respond to them, and they are just like observing my situation, observing what I'm doing with that. I have no idea what impact that's having on anyone around me, right? I don't care. I'm like in the situation, I don't care. I'm thinking about myself, and I'm thinking about how the sun is shining in my face. Or like yesterday, I brought some muffins, amazing muffins, baby banana and walnut muffins. I brought some over to my neighbor, and I was standing there talking to her, and she was like, how are you doing? And so I was trying to respond, but yet I was standing at the top of her stairwell out front of her house, and I was more concerned about keeping the sun out of my face, and I was afraid that I was just feeling a little unstable, and I didn't feel terribly comfortable being at the top of the stairs. Like I was like, I'm just trying not to fall down the stairs. I mean, she was super nice and like, come here, because she was starting to worry when I was like, I don't want to go near the stairs. But I was thinking about myself. That's what I mean in that situation. I'm thinking about myself. But what I'm not aware of at the time that I'm doing that is what effect I might be having on her or somebody else. And the reason why I was thinking about this is that I hear so many times in my program that there are people that come up to us and say, oh, I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking a couple weeks ago. And you're like, oh, well, that's cool. I didn't know that you were, thinking about that, or I didn't know that if you had a problem, and a lot of times it's because they observed us and we didn't have to say anything. So the way that I'm living my life and the way that I'm persevering through this, I'm trying to talk about it on the podcast, but I'm very aware today just from, I don't know, listening to some shares in my meeting this morning and listening to some of my music, how much what we're doing for ourselves is having a ripple effect on those around us. So today's song for me is It's Been a While by Stained. And it's one of my favorite songs, but I don't know that when I originally was listening to it, I realize now that I'm like listening to these songs, I'm like, I don't think even though I'm a lyrics person, I'm not quite sure that I was really present and aware enough to even realize what these songs were about. So, anyway, this one really resonated with me as far as like, it took me back to the addiction, the alcoholism. And it talks about, it's been a while since I could hold my head up high. It's been a while since I could stand on my own 2 feet. I stretched myself beyond my means. It's been a while since I wasn't addicted, since I could say I love myself, and it was really, it was making me remember how trapped I was. It made me think about all the consequences of all of my behavior. It made me think about how I never thought it would go away. I never felt peace. I thought I did. I remember taking like that first drink in the evening or whenever that first drink was. In the end, I didn't have a first drink because I was constantly drinking. But like coming home from work and taking that drink, the first one, and feeling like, you know, feeling like everything just released, like, everything's good for the next 12 hours. Everything's good. So this is an interesting thought now, is if I feel freedom from helping other people, then imagine the freedom that you allow others to feel when they help you. You know how, like, some of you who are in the program, and if you're anything like me, you think, well, I don't want to pick up the phone because I don't want to bother my sponsor. Maybe she's eating dinner, or, oh, she's got enough going on in her life right now. I'm not going to pick up the phone and call her. Well, imagine, just imagine that maybe you are giving her a gift by calling. Maybe by you sharing your burdens, you sharing your pains and stuff, that you are momentarily giving her a freedom so that she doesn't have to hyper focus on herself. you know it's just a thought today, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna end the episode on that. I know this was really short, but believe it or not, I just started and stopped the recording like 4 times because I was like, I don't even know what I'm saying. So I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop trying. So it's a big fat dud, but I think it's a really interesting topic. So I'm going to stop right there. And thanks for listening, even though, right? Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow.